Well, hello there, friends. I left you here at the steps of the path to Brother Genetivi. And I appreciate that you are here with me on part 25 of Dragon Age Origins with a Therapist. We are a quarter century in, friends. And the fact that you've made it this far means a lot to me. So as always, please make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video. Drop a comment if there's something you want to say, and follow all the links down in the description if you haven't already. I really, really, really appreciate your support of my playthroughs. As a reminder, please don't backseat and spoil stuff in the comments. Also remember that if you're watching this video many years in the future, I can't change the way I played through this. So, you know. Just saying. But no, seriously, I appreciate all of you. And if you ever want to watch this live on Twitch, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6 days a week, would love to have you stop by and hang out with us. Without further ado, let's jump in. Let's go find Brother Genetivi. Sergeant Spartan, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate it, friend. Yeah, so we're not going to go to the aliens just yet. We're going to go find our brother. Okay, the innkeeper of the spoiled princess told you that he was being watched by strange men who were looking out for anyone inquiring about Brother Genetivi's whereabouts. The innkeeper seems quite afraid of these men. So we are currently at the village of Haven.
What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here.
All right, never mind. See you later. I got business here, brother.
No, you do not. I would have been informed if someone was expecting a visitor.
Remember, confident with a clipboard. That's how we're handling this. I'd like to explore Haven for a while. Actually, asking directly for Brother Genetivi is a terrible idea, and so is asking for the urn. I don't want to let my intentions on when this guy's being this antagonistic, so I'd like to explore Haven.
We do not appreciate lowlanders looking about our home as though it was some sort of zoo.
Understandable. But I have some questions about it.
Ask and be on your way.
How long has it been here?
Haven's always been here. My family knows no other home.
What this is suggesting to me in the way that this guy is, that this place has either been attacked or people have been poking around. Like, him being on the defensive at the outset is something that has less to do about me and more about his experience leading up to this moment. So there's really not any point in me being antagonistic toward him. Why haven't I heard of Haven before? That's a weird question. Who's in charge of the village?
Father Eirik is our spiritual leader and guide.
Revered father? I've never heard of this.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition.
Okay. Are your traditions very different from ours? I love how I'm making an assumption that he knows.
Our ways are not the ways of the lowland cities.
Xenophobic? I wouldn't call it that as the... No. I think he probably just has learned that people coming into the town may be hostile. I don't know that I'd look at it as being xenophobia so much as it is just... The guy's learned not to trust outsiders. Let's see. Have you heard of the Urn of Sacred Ashes?
The urn is nothing but a legend.
You know, that's a... So... This is just kind of a... I don't know that I would call this a mental health tidbit, but this is where you really need to pay attention to the language that people use. In order for me to not see this guy as particularly suspicious, his answer to that would need to be something along the lines of, I have no idea if it's real. People have been looking for it for a long time. Nobody knows. That's the real answer. He actually gave me some information here by giving me a definitive answer. By saying the urn is nothing but a legend. right? That is saying that he definitively knows what the urn is, which is a ridiculous notion given what we know about the urn. So that tells me that either there is some sort of story in this area about the urn where they have decided that it's a legend, or he is trying to deter me away. The reality is he would have been more likely to deter me away if he had been like, yeah, I have no idea. People have been asking about this forever. Nobody knows where this thing is. And if you think it's here, it's just as much here as it is in Denerim. It's Schrodinger's urn at this point. But he didn't do that. He said the urn's nothing but a legend. That is very much, to me, a bit of posturing that says, get out of here. Or don't be asking these questions. Like, that's full stop. It doesn't invite follow-up questions. You got to be mindful sometimes, friends, with the way that you answer questions. Sometimes it's okay to have some ambiguity or to simply say, I don't know. But we're doing a little of this right now. Brother Genetivi's. Now, this is nice because this opens up an opportunity for me to bring up Genetivi without asking directly and suggesting that I'm looking for him, right? A lot of people are familiar with Brother Genetivi's research. People know who he is. So me saying that is a lot more vague than if I say, where is Dr. Evil hiding? He could have worded it better, more like, as far as I know, it's just a legend. Yes, that might have been like, yeah, as far as I know, it's a legend. I've never seen it, right? But he didn't inject ambiguity. He gave a definitive answer, and that's telling. Brother Genetivi's research suggests that it may be more than a legend.
I do not know who Brother Genetivi is or what he says. However, I'm sure people can convince themselves of anything.
You're not totally wrong. And you don't know if... Well, how... Okay, so this makes me look stupid to ask this question. The guy literally just said, I don't know who Brother Genetivi is or what he says. And then I come back and I go, and you don't know if Brother Genetivi's come here? He'd be like, I just fucking told you that I don't know who that is. How would I know if he was here if I don't know who that is? It's a stupid question. Like, that is... I'm not going to ask that. Listen to people. Okay, you know what's funny is, like, that is actually something that I think a lot of people would ask if they're not actually listening to what a person is saying. So many people come into interactions ready to bulldoze the interaction. They come in and I'm talking to you. I do it too. We all do it. We come in and we have a certain expectation of how it's going to go. We want certain information. We're trying to gather certain information. We're trying to accomplish something. And what that often does is it prevents us from listening to what people say when we actually engage with them, because we're so focused on what we're going to do next. So if I go into this and I don't pay attention and I don't give a shit what he just said because I read it completely as a deflection, and then I follow up and go, and you don't know if Brother Genetivi came here? If I'm this guy, I'm looking at me going like, did you even listen to what I just said? And you do not gain favor with people when you respond rather than listen to them. I really wish that I could teach every single person in the world how to listen effectively, because I tell you what, if you are willing to listen and you respond to what people actually say to you, not what you choose to hear them say, you will find that you have way more meaningful interactions with people, because they're going to feel heard and they're going to open up more and they're going to feel understood. It's a very powerful position to be in when the people around you feel heard by you. And if we go in there and say, you don't know if he came here, we've just shown him we're not listening. And that actually makes us worse from an interactional dynamic. All right. Well, very well. Excuse me.
You may trade for supplies at the shop if you wish. Then I suggest you and your companions leave.
Did it just get a lot colder, or is it just me?
Easy, Alistair. We do not need to be snarky with this guy. Alright, so here we are in Haven. Let's go check it out. There's a book. Death of a Templar. The dry, dusty earth swallows up salty drops that splatter its surface. A tiny insect pauses, sensing the vibrations, and scurries off, leaving behind its invisible enemy. As the drops fall, the dark circles merge together, expressing a mirror to their creator. The primal emotions of bloodlust and sorrow blend into a lethal cocktail that breaks the strongest of men. The jurisdiction of strength must be left to the spirit, not arm nor chest. Only the wisest turn to his inner sanctuary to partition the mind from an all-consuming madness. Seductive voices whispering promise of glory, weighting down the weaker path of the flesh, bringing a death far worse than that of hot lead or steel. These blank, hollow promises will echo the unfathomable eternally. Living comfortably amongst material possessions, it is easy to misunderstand the true meaning of uncontrollable hate. Failing to understand the power of fighting against pure, unfaltering beliefs, against foes that listen only to their soul. Uncontrollable hate. Influenced and thus removed from innocence, the scar is permanent and internal. The rain, now red, feeds the doubt owed for actions past, seeking further into the earth as the mind draws slower. What was it that drew himself, to this situation? The mind ebbs and parts to a lingering memory of true innocence. He entered war as a newborn enters the world, unknowing of both the horrors and light of the maker that will save him. The sound of metal sliding along leather comes from above him. From the second he was born to his soon-to-be dying breath, his mind was processing and analyzing knowledge and experiences. It is true that he thought he could be wise in his own eyes, but only the most humble recognizes that he knows very little. Bias, speculation, and all of false pretenses make way to the sound of the sweeping steel, and then finally his soul, as ready as his eyes dry from his final understanding, enters his promise of its purest form. From Death of a Templar by Sir Andrew, Knight of Andraste, and Templar Archivist, 9-4 Dragon. That was cool. I like the way that was written. Ultimate Monkey, thank you very much for the 3 months. I appreciate that very much, friend. All right, so there's a little kid running around here. What's up?
Come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Were you up? Were you down? Chasing rabbits round the town. Come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Come, Bonnie Lynn. We've a bed to put you in. It is soft, it is warm. It will shelter from the storm. Come, Bonnie Lynn. We've a bed to put you in. Dear
Bonnie Lynn sleeps the peaceful crib within. A mossy stone, a finger bone. No one knows but Lynn alone. Dear Bonnie Lynn sleeps the peaceful crib within.
Who are you? You shouldn't be here.
Where is everybody?
In the chantry. Mother wanted me to go to the chant, but she doesn't get to tell me what to do anymore. I'm sick of listening to Father Eirik, along with the babies and the girls. Soon I'll be old enough to go up the mountain and...
Go on? And what?
Nothing. It's just nicer up there. You wouldn't understand. Lowlanders don't belong here.
My antennae are up.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I bet you're a pretty clever kid. What do you know about Haven?
Haven is Haven. But I have a secret. Do you want to see?
Hell yeah, brother! Why do you think I asked? The boy pulls out something from his pocket and shows it to you. A finger bone, bleached white by the sun and polished through constant handling. Where did you get that? Now you gotta... Okay, we gotta play this cool. Okay? We got to play this cool, chat, because this kid's being cool about it, and we can't show that we're phased here. We are an outsider, and any kind of surprise and like that we show is going to widen the chasm between us and the people that are in this town. It's very, 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 very important to recognize that we are the foreigner here. We are the person that is not accustomed to the things that happen here. So when this kid pulls a finger bone out of his hand and he hands it to us, you have got to have the presence of mind to be like, whoo, okay, it's a little weird, but we're going to be cool, because we do not want to let on and make obvious the fact that we don't belong here. So we're going to play this cool. Where'd you get that? Because we don't get more information if we start acting all weird about this. We gotta play it cool. As hard as it may be. If we say ew, creepy, we're making a value judgment on that. Terrible idea. Immediately tries to establish a power hierarchy that's not there. All right, who'd that belong to? Not a great question. We want to be confident, clear, and we need a clarifying question here. Where'd you get that?
Over by the mountain. It's lucky. I keep it with me. Don't tell anyone, all right?
You got, you got it, Chief.
You're not so bad. But you're still not supposed to be here.
Okay. Thank you for showing me your finger, my man. Villager house. In we go. Chastened Crusher. Love letter. Ooh, we got another love letter. Man, I hate the way that this works. Because I never know which one is new. To Warth Lowstone, age, race, height, I care not for the differences others perceive, but matching your helmet to my tunic for the amusement of standing in line with your new silent sisters invited attention where none was desired. I will not suffer your company again. Allison Highover, scribbled below. Gonna miss knocking heads with those girls. Anything else in here? Another chest. Axe. Made of Viridium. 7.8. Yeah, definitely not as good as what I'm... Oh boy! This altar appears to have been used recently. A pool of blood remains running over the sides in dark rivulets. Happy Halloween, friends.
I was not expecting to find something so unsettling.
Used for food preparation, perhaps?
Oh, Alistair, I love you, buddy. Yes. Yes, Alistair. I am sure they were they were just preparing a hearty meal of venison. You know what? It's not worth making fun of him on, all right? I'm not going to make fun of him. He's just giving an idea, okay? Alistair maybe just wants to believe that shit's not cray-cray here, okay? And if that's the case, and the meaning that he makes out of it is that maybe this is used for food preparation, I think that's him potentially deflecting that he is uncomfortable. Because Alistair's not a dummy, all right? It's pretty obvious. We've come across this kind of thing before. My guess is that Alistair is probably like, God damn it, we have to deal with another crazy thing. Maybe it's just food preparation, guys. maybe we're reading too much into this. And you know what? I think there's some value in that. I think there's more that we just get information about how Alistair is processing this as opposed to him just being a dummy. Because somebody could so innocently say that, because that would be maybe a literal interpretation of this. And you know what? It adds an idea to the table. Pretty sure that's not what it is, though, big guy. Pretty sure that's not what it is. I don't think so.
I'm just trying to be optimistic. The other explanation is slightly more disturbing.
There we go, right?
We really should leave before someone sees us.
That perfect, right? So he acknowledges, I was just deflecting, man. I don't want to consider the other alternative. We've been dealing with bullshit for the last 25 episodes of DrMick's run. Can we please just catch a break? Find out what the villagers of Haven are hiding. You've seen some strange things in Haven. Not everything is what it seems, and the villagers are probably hiding something. You think? Quest log? Now, I'm sure I'm going to walk out this door, and there's probably going to be some crazy shit that happens. Like, I'm just waiting for, like, a horseshoe of cultists to be standing outside this door when I walk out. I don't really know what you mean by that question, Sean. Ah, all right. No horseshoe of cultists. That's good. I appreciate that.
I've thought a little more about the Sisters Maker.
He's not just my maker, Shale. He's your maker too. He created everything.
I happen to know exactly who my Maker is.
I think you're wrong. The important part of you, that part which makes you, you, he made that.
And the Sister simply believes this, even though there is no proof?
I do.
And the Sister still believes that she and I could be sisters, in spirit?
I do. I think that would be nice.
I suppose there are worse things that could happen. Like being assaulted by a flock of pigeons.
I'm glad to hear it.
This is a pretty dicey conversation, and I do want to dissect it a little bit. Because I think it would be very easy for many of us to go ham on Liliana here for what she said. And I am actually not inclined to do that. When we start having conversations about faith and spirituality and belief, when you have somebody who is strong in their convictions and their belief, like Liliana is, and she makes the statement that the Maker didn't just make me, the Maker made you too. The Maker made everything, and states that as fact. There is a tendency for people to get very frustrated by that because of the fact that she is taking her subjective belief and she is making an objective statement. But that is truly what Liliana believes. I actually think that it behooves Shale to respond similarly to how she actually responded, which is to not take that personally. Just because that's Liliana's truth doesn't mean that it's the truth. And no matter how much Liliana wants to talk about her convictions as if it is the truth, that is simply not true. And I think it's actually easier in these interactions to just sort of let people have that. If Liliana's that strong in that conviction and there's really no talking her out of it, then your focus is better shifted toward what that means for your relationship to that person, if that is indeed their conviction. If that's something that you find to be annoying that a person is living their life by and continues to inject in conversations, then set a boundary with that person. But if you can just sort of let that person have it as their truth, recognizing that just because it's her truth doesn't mean it has to impact whatever your belief system is about why you exist, you could actually coexist pretty well. The reason we get into problems when we have discussions of faith, particularly strongly adhered to faith, is because people start to try to change and interject their shit on what other people believe. So if Shale says, I saw my maker's the person that chiseled me out of stone when I decided to become a golem, and that's for me what I consider to be my maker, I don't subscribe to your belief system, and Liliana comes back and says, Well, that's bullshit because the makers who made you, and you're an idiot for not believing that, and you need to be saved. That's when we have an interactional dynamic that is problematic. However, if Leliana says, well, I tend to believe that the maker makes all of us, but I can respect that you don't necessarily subscribe to that, and we can coexist and be curious about each other's positions as it relates to it, there's some real connective tissue that can be had there. So I really appreciate the way that this conversation happened. Leliana doesn't need to come off of how hardcore she is about her belief in the maker. In the same way that Shale doesn't need to change her own convictions about why it is that she exists. The reality is that the way these things come out interactionally is what ends up being most important. Because that could be a conversation that goes way south when we start trying to convince other people to believe the doctrine that we believe, which some religions tell you you're supposed to do, which is problematic in and of itself. Or it could be very connective and intimate because we get more information about somebody and their belief structure and how they orient themselves to the environment and society at large. And I think that's a pretty cool conversation to have with folks. And I'm glad to hear that, BN. And it is indeed clipped. So. But that's, yeah, I mean, I just, these conversations between Leliana and Shale are awesome. I really appreciate the curiosity that they engage each other with. It's okay if you've got some hard lines in terms of what you believe, if you're Leliana. But you don't have to force them on Shale, and Shale doesn't need to force hers. Shale could just as easily say, well, Leliana, you were forged from stone, and by stone I mean stardust or whatever, and your maker is bullshit. Telling Leliana that her maker is bullshit is no better than Leliana saying that Shale's perspective is bullshit. Because the reality is, we don't know. To those of you that are ready to comment on YouTube and say, oh, actually, Dr. Mick, we do know, because if you play Dragon Age Inquisition, don't make that comment. We haven't gotten the Inquisition yet, and I don't want it spoiled. As far as we know right now, this is very ambiguous. All right, let's go up here. Let's see if there's anything. Well, I mean, there's going to be a chantry up here, so this is going to be really interesting, I think. There's another villager.
We have nothing you'd want. Please go.
I'm off.
The Avars. Driven across the Frostbacks in ancient times, the Alamari tribesmen split into 3 groups. One settled the Ferelden Valley, one was pushed to the Korcari Wilds, and the last returned to the mountains. Modern Fereldans bear little resemblance to their Alamari ancestors, and the chastened remember few of their traditions, but the Avars have changed little throughout the ages. Like the chastened, the Avars are not a united people. Each tribe fends for itself and is beholden only to its Thane. They still follow their own gods, Korth and Mountain Father Hakon Wintersbreath, the Lady of the Skies, as well as dozens of animal gods never named to outsiders. Nothing lasts in the mountains. Wind and rain eventually eat away the strongest holds. Valleys that were arable one generation are locked in year-round ice the next. Game is constantly on the move. Even among themselves, the Avar make no absolute promises. They wed by a tradition in which the groom struggles to untie a tightly knotted rope while the bridge sings a hymn to one of the gods. However many knots he has undone by the time her song ends is the number of years she will spend with him. Lowlanders often forget that there is no such thing as a permanent alliance in the Frostbacks. From Ferelden, Folklore and History by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. That's actually very interesting. Oh, it's cool. I like learning about the other traditions of these places. What's in the sack? Just a deep mushroom, no more body parts in sacks. That's good. Anything in this wooden crate? Nope. Blank vellum. Let's go in the village shop. What are you buying? Let's rob him right in front of his face. Mage's Eye. Two-handed. Chainmail. Antivan leather boots. And a locket. An antique cameo depicting a beautiful woman with jewels in her hair. The cameo is set in the front of filigreed gold locket. Antivan leather boots. We're going to have to give those to old Zevron. I think he'll appreciate that. What up, shopkeep?
Who are you? You're not from Haven.
Correct. Why does everybody tell me that like I don't already know it? There's a reason they do that. This guy doesn't have to answer that. The reason that everybody's doing that is because they're trying to establish immediate separation. My guess is that this town has either defined themselves as a group of outsiders or has been indoctrinated to believe that outsiders should not be trusted. I don't know that there is a cult thing going on here, but regardless, there is some sort of community dealio going on here. And so what they're doing when they say you're not from Haven is they are establishing a hierarchy. They are making it very clear to me that I am not one of them. And they're doing that as much for me, so that I know, as they are for themselves. When he says you're not from Haven, it's sort of a cue to himself. Don't trust this guy, or interact with caution, or remember where you come from. It's a line of demarcation that is explicitly stated. So he is establishing to some extent some power by suggesting that I am not from here. It's a constant reminder. And if you think that this is unique to this kind of community, just look at real life. Look at how often certain groups of people in power will make very clear, either explicitly or implicitly, that people are not one of them. And that creates real chasms between people. Sometimes that's very functional and it helps people survive. Other times that creates division that doesn't need to be there. The reality is they don't know what my intentions are by being here, so they have to protect themselves. And one of the ways they can do that is by arbitrarily establishing a hierarchy at the outset of every dynamic. And if they do that consistently to me across the board, it reminds me that I have no way of penetrating that membrane. And that's an important vibe for them to establish if they are a community that's trying to keep itself intact and impervious to outside influence. So I'm not going to be antagonistic here. It's okay for me to just sort of go with the flow on this. I think there is very real power in me remaining unfazed by their establishment of these things. Can you tell me a little bit about Haven?
How would you describe the place you know only as home?
Very interesting deflection. You seen a man called Brother Genetivi around here?
No, I've never heard that name.
All right. Is this a shop I'd like to
I don't
trade?
have much, but I suppose you can take a look.
Don't have much, he says, as he's abundant with health poultices that I would like to purchase in abundance. Thank you. I mean, beyond that, he doesn't have a lot, but... I'm surprised they even have common currency out here. It is a little interesting that they take sovereigns. I would agree with that.
What are you doing? That's private.
Oh, I apologize.
You're back. I think that is for the best.
All right, we're gonna keep note of that. I'm not gonna go back there yet, because if I immediately accuse him of hiding something that's actually ridiculous, that is me overestimating my importance relative to these people. And it is, I mean, that's a big statement. If I am literally walking into the back room of this guy's shop and then accusing him of hiding something, I have no right to be back there. No right to be back there. I'm not about to stir shit up right now by going back there. So we're gonna respect that for now. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's more. All right, we're gonna keep climbing here. Very eerie place. All right, now we have the Chantry at the mountaintop.
It sounds like they are singing the chant in there. Maybe we should have a look.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of glad we have you with us, Liliana, because Liliana is hopefully going to be pretty adept at navigating this space. All right, let's see what we got here.
We are blessed beyond measure. We are chosen by the holy and beloved to be her guardians. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her. Lift up your voices and despair not, for she will raise her faithful servants to glory when her... I understand that you are new here, but common courtesy dictates that one shouldn't interrupt. No matter. We were just about done here anyway.
But, Your Reverence, we have not completed the sacraments of the Holy Mother or sung the invocation.
Be calm, Nodda. We have an honored guest. Surely the sacraments can wait. That is all for today, my children. I shall see you tomorrow. For now, I should see to our visitor.
All right. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of playing this cool. We are treading on their territory. We are the outsider. I am not more important than anybody else in this space. And if I walk in here as if I am going to burn bridges before I even have a chance to cross them. So if we come in here and we come in here with a bias against what we're witnessing, we have more likelihood to be antagonistic toward him, perhaps without even realizing it. We are going to remind ourselves that we are visitors, we are outsiders. We have been told that explicitly, and we are going to act as such. We're going to play it cool. We're not going to allow ourselves to be overly fazed by what it is that we witness. We are going into these circumstances as observers of the process, as opposed to judgers of the process, because we would be judging with preconceived notions of things outside of what we're actually witnessing, as opposed to making judgment based on what we do actually see. So is it easy to be kind of like, oh, this guy's maybe a little bit weird, maybe he leads a cult? Sure. We're going to let those thoughts go by the wayside, and we're going to observe the way that this guy interacts with us. His calling us out as being a visitor is completely legitimate. I just barged my way into his sermon. What's up? I'm Mick. That's not very respectful of their process. Even if their process is problematic, we don't know that yet. I really can't emphasize that enough. You got to understand the environment that you're in, and you got to allow yourself to be a side character to it, as opposed to just assuming that you're more important than the context you're in. Because the chances are you probably aren't. And if you act that way, you're just going to increase, again, you're going to increase distance. People aren't going to be willing to work with you. Humble yourself a bit when you walk into a space like this. Right? So there was no need to end the sermon. Right? I'm going to play it cool.
It is better this way. Many of the villagers are uncomfortable in the presence of strangers.
Okay, understandable. I would like to warm him up a little bit before I come in ham with the main questions, but we're going to start with the urn. Is the urn of sacred ashes here?
You've come all this way chasing a myth. You will not find it in Haven. We are but simple people who enjoy the pleasures of hearth and home. We find outsiders disruptive. They bring others, and before long, Haven is changed. We will go to any lengths to prevent that. You understand a man's need to protect his family, don't you? Brothers, you know what must be done.
Okay. The reason that you don't want outsiders when you are creating a cult is because the more diversity you have from outsiders, the more likely people are to critically think about their situation. If you lock people into isolation, you feed them a single story, you create this idea that you are the only one that can lead them, that you're the one that they have to trust, that the outside world is a scary, dark, horrible place, you can control people. So this guy's been preying on these people's vulnerability. He doesn't want outside influence because outside influence will probably tarnish the amount of power he has over these people and will tarnish whatever it is he's getting out of this. The number one indication that you are potentially being indoctrinated into a cult or that you are potentially in an abusive relationship, either with a group or with somebody else, is that person's consistent push for you to be isolated from others. Isolation is the key component that starts the process of abuse, and getting people involved in a cult is abusive. So always be mindful of that. Alright, where's the mage guy? I'm looking for the... Okay, here he is. Alright, he's dead. He didn't stand a chance, man. Do you know who you're dealing with? Boy, oh boy. Now, ooh, the cultist medallion. A very large bronze disc bearing the symbol of Andraste. Take that. Now, what just happened here is awful. Because the people that have been following this guy are going to have no idea what to do now. This has probably further fueled the fear that was already injected to them about what outsiders are capable of. I literally just walked in and slayed this guy. Their leader and savior and the person who helps them feel safe. Like, this is tragic in a lot of ways that I just had to kill this guy. Because all it's going to do, these people in this town are not going to immediately go, oh, thank you for saving us from the death grip of the cult that we've been indoctrinated in. That's not how this works. They are going to probably look at me in the same way that Logain has tried to get other people to look at me, which is this Grey Warden came in here and slayed our leader. We weren't bothering anybody. We were just chilling in our town. This guy comes in and kills this guy and takes his medallion. And now we don't have leadership? Now we don't know how to operate within the world outside of Haven? That sucks for them. Big time. This is a big, giant shit show. We put one more on the Dr. Mick committed a war crime counter. Yeah. Hey, look. An ominous brick wall that doesn't look like it belongs in an archway that looks like a doorway. Whoa. No! Oh, he moves! Whoa, what is he? Is he just doing yoga? Oh, brother Gentini, what's up, brother? Oh my god, I thought he was dead. Whoa. He lives! Wow. All right. He's breathing. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt your, what is it, Havasana or whatever? Sorry, man. Didn't mean to interrupt. He's just doing some yoga. Oh, I thought the guy was dead. Okay. Well, let's let him do his yoga for a minute. Let's go over here. Inscribed chest. Small silver bar, ring of faith. I could sell that. That was hilarious. I was not expecting him to move. That was so good. I'm all bummed out, and my man lifts that leg.
Who are you? They sent you to finish it.
Finish what?
Me. Finish me off.
Oh. I got nothing to do with these villagers.
You don't know how glad I am to see someone who isn't from this village. The leg's not doing so well, and I can't feel my foot.
I have some bandages, man. Would that help?
Thank you. That feels much better. I don't have time to rest now. I'm so close. The urn is just up that mountain.
Oh, yeah? How do you know?
My research led me to Haven, and I have heard the villagers talking. I know the urn is here. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. There is an old temple there built to protect it. The door is always locked, but I know what the key is. Iric wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it.
You mean this?
Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside, and I will show you.
You answer some questions for me first.
All right. What is on your mind?
I don't know if I can trust this guy. Nothing important. Never mind. How do you know the knights were sent to look for you? Wait, do you know about the knights who were sent to look for you?
Yes, of course. How could I forget? Iric said they were ambushed. Some killed, a few brought back to Haven to be questioned. He was so self-righteous about it, so smug. He seemed pleased that he had tortured and murdered these men.
Iric's not going to be bothering anybody else for a while.
Good. Iric and his fellows were a blemish in the Maker's sight. If the Maker would even deign to look upon this world, that is. Let's just talk about something else now, shall we?
Haven's a little odd, huh?
Well, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be.
Why does Haven have revered fathers?
I do not know. When the Chantry was established, it was decided that only female priests would ever be ordained. It is possible that the villagers, the disciples of Andraste, predate the Chantry and so have no knowledge of the Chantry's rules.
What do you know about Haven and its people?
They call themselves the disciples of Andraste, and they are very, very devoted. One could say fanatically so. They must be here to protect the urn, but they speak of Andraste as though she was still alive.
Is that possible?
I'm old enough to know that anything is possible, child. Was there something else you wanted to discuss?
What were the villagers doing with you?
They seemed intent on finding out personal information about me, where I grew up, things like that.
Did they ask you about your search for the urn?
Oddly enough, no. I mentioned it when I got here, which was probably what got me captured, and then it was never mentioned again.
The ashes will cure Arl Eamon, won't they?
Cure Arl Eamon? Is the Arl sick? What happened?
He was poisoned on Logain's orders. Is that... I don't know how... Is that true? I don't know that I want to go around spreading a bunch of bullshit. The Arl's dying. We're going to keep it general. I can't remember how true that is. The Arl's dying.
No. He was always the picture of health. I certainly hope the ashes will save him. The legends speak of their miraculous powers. There are many stories of pilgrims being healed, the blind seeing, and the lame dancing in joy. Perhaps it is Andraste that does this. Perhaps it is belief itself. By believing the ashes are magical, you make them so.
I suppose that's possible.
Anyway, that can be discussed once we actually have the ashes, and the Arl is better.
Sure, fair enough.
So run along and get that medallion then.
Brother, I think you should know about Waylon.
Waylon? What about him?
I found his body in your basement.
Oh, poor Waylon. I should never have dragged you into this. Maker take you into his hands, my boy.
Sorry, brother.
He believed in me, even when I lost faith in myself. I will honor his memory. Was there something else you wanted to say?
Oh, man. I'm gonna bring him with me, because if he knows what to do and he's willing to go, I don't think it's my call to send him back to Denerim. He could be a liability. I mean, I really don't know how he ends up being a liability, other than, like, I don't know that I can fully trust him with the urn. See, this is tricky because, like, he's been searching for the urn for unknown reasons. Like, I don't exactly know why he cares enough about this. So, I don't know that I could afford to have him, you know, run into the Temple of Doom, grab the urn and, you know, splash it all over himself for whatever reason he has when I'm trying to get this for the Arl. Like, I do run that risk. And so what I would probably do is say to him, look, man, we just met. I mean, nothing personal by this, but I'm gonna need you to stand next to Shale the entire time we do this. And it's not personal. I just can't afford to have somebody I just met go running in, splash the ashes all, and dump them all over their head. All right. So, like, I'm gonna need you to stand by Shale, and if you do anything weird, Shale's gonna grab you. She's gonna hold on to you, and she ain't gonna let go until we get to Denerim. Like, that's how I would be handling this. But I do think I need him. I can't really afford to mess around with, like, getting up there and fumbling around and not knowing what to do. He may just want to write about him. Who knows? But I'd be asking him, why are you looking for the urn? I kind of am surprised that that's not a dialogue option for me here. I'm ready to leave for the temple.
Ah, good. Help me up here. I'll try not to slow us down.
I'm taking a risk here. Brother Ferdinand Genetivi. His travels and rather too curious nature led him to the study of folklore, which gave him the notion that he could track down that most debated of all artifacts, the Urn of Sacred Ashes. He announced that he had found what appeared to be the trail of the urn, left in the legends of the regions through which it had passed from Minrathous onto its way into hiding. And he appears to have been right. The final resting place of Andraste lay at the summit of a remote mountain. What did you mean earlier by it's abusive to get someone to join a cult? Yes, cults are inherently abusive. They manipulate people's vulnerability for the personal gain of the people who lead it. That's abusive. You think he'd sign our codex? You know, that's a that's a great question. Hey, man, can you sign the codex?
Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember. Yes, you see, it can be manipulated, just like this. And there. A key to open the way.
How'd you know how to do that?
There are very few keys like this left in the world, but I have seen some. When you find the right combination, it just feels right. It is hard to explain. Now, let's see if we can open this door. There should be a place to insert this.
Oh, baby.
Oh, what I would give to have seen this hall in all its splendor, as it was meant to be. Still, sweep away the ice and the snow, and traces of beauty remain.
Yes, get moving. You'll... What? Why would you say that? You need to stay alert now, brother.
I'm sorry, what? I was a little distracted, I apologize. These carvings were created just after Andraste's death, and they may reveal things about her life that we do not yet know. I think I need more time to study these statues and carvings.
I can't wait for you. That's fine, but I can't wait for you.
I could not keep up with you with my injuries. I should be safe. I don't think there are any villagers here. Go. I will be all right. Perhaps my destiny was only to lead you to the urn.
Is there anything else I need to know about the temple?
It was designed to protect the urn from those who would steal it or do harm to it. Namely, the Tevinter Imperium.
What sort of dangers we talking about here?
I'm not sure. The legends were never very specific on that point. Only the faithful shall lay eyes on the sacred ashes. Death and misfortune await the unbeliever. The Maker's gaze has fallen on Andraste's final resting place. He weeps for his beloved, and his wrath at her betrayers endures.
We're gonna hope that that's just a thing that's written in the Bible. Uh-oh. Dr. Mick's lack of faith has been found to be disturbing. The Maker's here?
That is what the legend says, and the Maker may indeed watch this place. Read between the lines, however, and you'll understand that it is merely a simple truth draped in hyperbole and metaphor. After all, no one wants to hear, Willie toiled for many a year to perfect the curious mechanisms that would send a sharpened spike up the arse of the unwary intruder.
That might be my favorite line of the entire game so far. Willie toiled for many a year to perfect the curious mechanisms that would send a sharpened spike up the arse of an unwary intruder. Wow, that's good. Oh my god, I love that. Ah, that sounds pleasant.
I think my decision to stay here was the best one, don't you?
Yep, I'll be back soon.
I'll be right here if you need me.
Oh.
You're back. Have you reached the urn?
What? Not yet. Oh, there's just
I can't believe all this is still standing. This temple must be thousands of years old.
Alright, there's just a book laying here, so let's go ahead and grab this. Andraste, Bride of the Maker. There was once a tiny fishing village on the waking sea that was set upon by the Tevinter Imperium, which enslaved the villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathous, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was the child Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of an Almari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Tevinter. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, and how he had left them to their fate. But her voice had reached him, and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return, to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Mafareth, and told him that all the Maker had revealed to her. Together, they rallied the Elamari and marched forth against the mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself, fire and flood, famine and earthquake. Everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The ranks of Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide washing over the Imperium, and when Mafareth saw that people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last the armies of Andraste and Mafareth stood before the very gates of Minrathous, but Andraste was not with them. For Mafareth had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Tevinter. For this, the Archon would give Mafareth all the lands to the south of the Waking Sea. And so, before all the armies of the Alamari and of Tevinter, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened. He took pity on Andraste and drew his sword and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved, cursed Mafareth, cursed mankind for their betrayal, and turned once again from creation, taking only Andraste with him. And Our Lady sits still at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. From the sermons of Justina II. Cool. Alright, so this is a big-ass temple. I'm sure this will be quite interesting. An adventurer. A sealed letter. Unbound. You asked, so I'm telling. Don't go. The stories talk of the riches, but never the names, never where they supposedly spent their wealth. I heard the same tales as Aladdin Denerim, felt the same pull, but it's a lie, son. It may paint a trail, but once you're on it, does it lead to the beast or back to you? Unsigned letter, father to son. 3 withered parchments and 3 versions of the same incomplete story. Excerpt. And when his kingdom fell, so disappeared the stolen riches of an age. The beast, the unbound, dormant until one of the true spirit claims his throne. So must hunt the hero of his people, the principled, who would search for ancient evil. This is how they can make a real difference. Scribbled in the corner in a shaky hand. 3 pages, 3 ages. Same story, updated. Same as the tavern song, but older. Signature torn on purpose, but compare and get Vilm Madan. All from him. How? I kind of like the codex entries that are like very unclear. What's up, guys? What's the matter here? Okay. Got cultists in here. Cabinet. Taper. A long stick used to light candles. I'll take that. Why not? Bookshelf. Discovering Dragon's Blood. Potions. Okay. So people just hang out here, huh? How does the snow even get in here like this? What is this? Door.
I shall.
Can't unlock.
Bored now.
What shall? Ancient texts. Book. Oh, more lore. I love this. Scroll pile. Ancient encrypted scrolls. These rolls of parchment are so old they've grown almost transparent. They are covered in strange, seemingly meaningless characters. Forgotten verses. Find someone who can decipher the strange scrolls. You found some scrolls in the language you cannot decipher. You've taken them with you in hopes that someone you encounter on your travels will be able to translate them. Cool. All right. The Old Gods. Duma, the Dragon of Silence. Zazikel, the Dragon of Chaos. Toth, the Dragon of Fire. Andoril, the Dragon of Slaves. Euthemiel, the Dragon of Beauty. Razakael, the Dragon of Mystery. Lusicon, the Dragon of Night. There were 7 old gods, great winged dragons, that were said to rule over the ancient world. The Chantry maintains that they are responsible for the original sin, that they turned humanity away from its true creator through deceit. Humanity's faith faltered, and thus the Maker turned away from the world, but not before trapping the old gods in eternal prisons beneath the earth as punishment. Scholars assume that the old gods must indeed have been real at one point, but most agree that they were likely actual dragons, ancient high dragons of a magnitude not known today, and impressive enough to frighten ancient peoples into worshipping them. Some even claim that these dragons slumber as a form of hibernation, not as a result of the Maker's wrath. Regardless of the truth, legend maintains that even from their underground prisons, the old gods were able to whisper into the minds of men. The Archon Talcian, first of the Magisters, who claimed to have contacted the old god Dumat, used the blood magic Dumat taught him to attain incredible power in Tevinter and declare himself the ruler of an empire. In return, he established the first temples worshipping the old gods, and the dragons became equated everywhere with imperial power. To date, 4 of the old gods are said to have risen as corrupted archdemons. Dumat, the first and most powerful, was slain at the Battle of Silent Fields. Zazikel fell at the Battle of Starkhaven. Toth died at the Battle of Hunterfell, and Andoril was felled by Garahel, the legendary Grey Warden, at the Battle of Aislay. The archdemons have been identified only after years of argument among scholars, and to this day it is unclear whether the archdemons were truly old gods and not simply dragons. All that is known is that the Darkspawn hunt for them deep underground. If they are truly the old gods, as many scholars believe, then we have only 3 blights remaining. When all the old gods have risen and been slain, however, what will happen? Will the blights end forever, and humanity earn forgiveness from the Maker at last? We shall see. From the Old Gods Rise Again by Sister Mary, Chantry Scholar 850 Blessed. God, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I love it. Ancient Texts. Scroll of Banastor. A scroll containing information on blood magic rituals dark and terrible. To align with the power of the Fade is but the first of many steps. Further is to align the mind to the Fade's rules and find the ties between the realm of dream and the realm of flesh. This is the true power of blood magic. The flesh and the mind are inseparable, and therein lies the power to influence and control minds. Others may speak of the sanctity of the mind. To those who know the true power of the blood, this is foolishness. The mind is no more sacred than the knee, the small toe, or the ear. It is man's organ of reasoning, nothing more, and true reasoning requires connection to the rhythm of the blood, the tireless pounding of life. Interrupt this, and even the mind is yours to control. In the Fade dwell creatures both foul and fair, but all plague mankind with lusts and prides incalculable in our waking hours. Our power attracts them, and for good reason. Our unique bridge between flesh and dreams is one way they can enter the realm of flesh. To begin the path to true power, court these poor, terrible creatures and best them. Force them into servitude or pledge your heart to them. Either way, you gain immense power and the means with which to tear holes in the world. The creatures, these demons, require little in the way of bribery. Their natural state is one of longing for the world of flesh and blood. This is what you offer them. Respite from their eternal search for true life. Engage them in a battle of wills and you will be successful. Should you fail, the power will be yours, but your body will belong to the demon. Relish this infernal power while it lasts, for once you are an abomination, your demon half will soon swallow your mind. Oof. You're slipping into your Carl Sagan voice again? I don't quite know what that means. I'm just reading. studded leather helm. Don't need that. Alrighty. I want to get in there. Why can't I go in there? Probably need some sort of key. History is just IRL lore. It is true. Alrighty. Oh, we got more cultists that we got to take care of here. What's up, guys? It's great to hear the lore read with such passion. Oh, I'm glad you like. I'm glad you liked it. I enjoy reading it. I know I say that in all the episodes that I read it, but I have really, really, really enjoyed reading the lore in this game. It's just so well crafted. I mean, it's like the Codex Massive. It's just incredibly well done. I wonder if you shouldn't be here at the town before we killed the leader was because they didn't want you dead or didn't feel like committing murder. Who knows? Who knows? What do we got here? Fallen Knight, Fire Arrow, and Armor of Diligence. Ooh. Health regeneration in combat, 2 armor. I'm gonna take that just because it's cool. The Armor of Diligence. I'm going to use this moment as a chance to just say real quick, I appreciate all of you so much. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching this series. It really means a lot to me that you're supporting my channel. Those of you that are here live on Twitch, hanging out with me and chatting, I appreciate you all so much as well. Thanks for keeping me company while we play this and engaging with me while we do it. It means so much to me. Thank you for supporting my content. As always, the best way that you could support my content is to tell other people about it. But I am grateful for your presence. And for those of you that in any way, shape, or form support the stream financially, whether it's through subs, following on YouTube as a member, if you purchase any merch in the merch store or anything like that, if you listen to my music on iTunes and Spotify, thank you very much for your financial support. That also means a lot to me. I will keep doing this for a long time, for as long as y'all have me. Oh, God! We got a Bronto outside the deep roads. How about that? Bronto is just chilling in its own room. Yo, what's up? Okay, there's a lot of you here. Let's go ahead and get the defensive stance here. I know, Skog. I'm looking forward to when we are done with this game combat. It is just so much louder than the rest of the game. We are making quick work of these folks. More ancient texts. Scroll of Banastor. Finally, once you have come to ascend, have tasted the sweet nectar of the demonic blessing, rise anew, ascended as a god. Through the connection between earth and sky, flesh and dream, blood and memory, you have risen above the petty concerns of the Chantry and her minions, past the notice of secular nobles and their petty squabbles. Though through the rituals inscribed in these scrolls, you have mastered the minds of others, braved the temptations of the Fade, and quashed the terrible will of demons. Let no murder or theft weigh upon your mind, as your will is absolute and the world is yours to claim. Quest updated. You found 5 scrolls of Bannistor. Return to the Mages Collective for your reward. Okay. Wooden crate. Heavy chainmail. Chainmail boots. Not interested. Wooden crate. Helmet. Not interested. Oh my god, there are so many more enemies in here. Yo, what's up? Yo, whoa, 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 whoa. It really is a shame that I gotta kill so many people in here, man. Like, these people have no chance against me. But their willingness to fight to the death doesn't surprise me. I can only imagine what I represent in terms of, like, threat. Level her up. Let's give her some strength, more constitution. Buddy, time for you to go. All right. The Sermons of Divine Renata 1. The weakness of mortal will. The weakness of mortal will is the great failing of all the Maker's children. We trade our honor as if it were the cheapest of currency. We do not understand what integrity is or what it is truly worth. From this ignorance, original sin was born. At some time, each of us has thought, what does it matter if I keep hold of my integrity? I am but one mortal. I am powerless. How blind we all are. The virtue of a single slave destroyed the Tevinter Imperium. The dishonor of one man drove the Maker from our sight. I tell you truly, nothing but integrity of our hearts will win the love of our Maker back to us. It is all the power we shall ever possess to change this world for good or for ill. From a sermon on integrity. Okay. Dusty Scrolls. Chassid Sack Mead, a brutishly strong honey liqueur reminiscent of a warm summer days, apple blossoms on the wind, and an unexpected aftertaste of father going off to war never to return. Bitter to say the least. Jeez. Ornate chest. Canary infantry helm. Chainmail, black pearl. At first glance, this appears to be an ordinary pearl, but on closer inspection, it seems odd. The air around it seems very still and lifeless. This small key is very old. The metal is so worn by generations of use that it is nearly parchment thin and extremely smooth. I want that. I wonder what that pearl does. That winery label went off, right? Jeez. And an essence of Dad going to the gas station and never returning. It smells like abandonment. Alright, we got more. Oh man, dude, Brother Genetivi has got to be dead at this point, right? Like, these people came in here and were like, get out of here, brother. Have a good one, Skater. All right. You always got to get the mage first. There we go. Oh, I didn't get to her in time. I'm sorry, Liliana. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get yourself an injury kit. I leveled up, so where do I want to go? Constitution, I really don't know that I need. I'm kind of at a point where... I really have kind of filled out everything that I want. I'm not using two-handed. I'm not doing archery. I mean, I guess we'll do that. I mean, I'm just gonna make myself stronger so that I can just kill shit super easy. Let's open this up. Main hall key. Okay. Cerulean potion. Chainmail gloves. That's it, huh? Alright. Well. We needed the main hall key, so alas, we have it. Stairs in this game are a nightmare. All right, we got an autosave. Here we go. Hello, friends. I'm telling you, man, I'm worried about what's going to happen with Brother Genetivi here. Something... I just feel it in my bones, man. Intuition's not a great guide with stuff like this, but... Big old brazier. The holy brazier. The brazier that stands atop the stairs in the great hall of our temple has always been something of a mystery to us. This is the brazier that created the beings we call the Ash Wraiths. This is where Andraste's followers immolated themselves and became the eternal guardians of her temple. Holy shit. I have painstakingly pieced together information from old books and from the tales and half-truths passed down to us by our forefathers. I believe I now understand the ritual used to create the Wraiths. The brazier was lit with a consecrated taper, its flame taken from the everlasting fire that long ago consumed Andraste herself. The chosen discipline would fast and pray for weeks, taking into his body nothing but a sip of water a day. When the disciple was finally ready, he would place in his mouth a flawless black pearl and step into the flames. In ancient Tevinter, black pearls were thought to be magical, able to stop the soul from passing through the veil when held in the mouth at the moment of death. Thus, Andraste's disciples consigned themselves to the eternal flame. They became dust and ashes and rose again and again to protect the most beloved of the Maker. From the Journal of Father Colgrim. Yeesh. Self-immolation is no joke, man. That is a hell of a way to go. Hello. Oh god. Oh jeez. All right. There's a lot of traps in here just hanging out. walked right through it like it was nothing. All right. Liliana, do your worst. I like that noise. Kind of curve stopping these guys. We really are. I mean, we are making quick work of these cultists. That is for sure. And this place is elaborate as hell. We just got an autosave. Oh, hello, Ashwraith. What up? Spooky, spooky. Oh boy, Liliana's taking it to the chin. Okay. Item chest or iron chest. Okay. Dalthanu. Silver, it's named, so I'm gonna take it just because why not? Let's go this way. What does this temple have in store for us? More cultists. Boy, I like when Alistair uses that smite. Back here. Oh boy, we got another one. Boy, this is just... Who knew that this would be so demonic? Damn, these are really neat looking. The vase. Anything in the vase? Just some leather armor chilling in there? Okay. Demon didn't leave us anything. Watch out for this trap, friends. Liliana. No! Disable the trap, you knucklehead. Don't walk through it.
Inscription. I died a long time ago, like every other puny flesh creature.
Starting to get some bad frame rate, so I'm gonna be saving because there could be a crash coming. Okay, so I'm gonna go back this way, and we're gonna go explore the other side. Shale's the best, man. And to think that Shale was a DLC character. Like, I gotta love how they, like, saved the best character for DLC. I've missed the old days of good DLC. Yeah, Shale was DLC. Yeah, Javik in Mass Effect 3 was DLC. Javik's awesome. Yeah. Who this? Oh, good. Glad I came over here. You got me. You got me. Spooked you. Got you. Spaghetti. Ah, spaghetti. Nah, they respawn, Jum. On any of these. One of these has got to have something in it. Jeez, man. That like fireball Kamehameha is pretty intense. Spartan, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you for giving some folks ad-free viewing of the channel. Yes. All right. We have cleared out both sides. Let's make it happen. What will be through the door? Jeez, this place is huge. Have a good night, Spartan. Thank you, friend. Cultist Overseer. Yo, ooh, he doesn't look very good. Unless it's like eye paint. It's just been poorly applicated. Word is that applied. Don't use quarter words when nickel words will do.
It speaks.
I'm not trying to talk to you right now, Shale. I'm just trying to loot this guy, okay? Am I able to go in any of these rooms? No. Cultist Reaver, got anything? Nope. All right, yo, what's up? Okay. Dude, some of the design, like some of the ruins in this game have some really amazing design. Like, I just love like the statues, the pillar falling on them. It's good stuff. Good night, Skog. Place is enormous. It really is. It's like we are really just going through the whole mountain. Secret tunnel. through the mountain. Secret, 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 secret. God damn it. Really? Little baby dragon? Not good. Not great. Does not bode well. What's up, Putt Dog? Good to see you, friend. Autosave. Uh-oh. Baby dragons living in harmony with humans on here. Holy hell. More children for Dr. Mick to kill. You're not wrong. Soldier's heavy helm, heavy chainmail boots. Not really interested in either of those. Okay. Lady Crazy Nut, thank you very much for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Going.
Great sword, red steel.
Going.
Ah.
Right ahead.
Move on. Man. Just relentless. Oh my God. Oh. Dude, just attack something. Goddamn mage. Jesus.
It speaks.
Chill.
Yes.
Speaks and it says I want to loot. Don't talk to me right now. Whew. All right. Man, this area is exhausting. I was not anticipating that this was going to be as lengthy of a journey here as it is. And now we have reached a fork in the road. Like, what are these people even doing in here? Like, how do they even get resources? These are the things I think about sometimes. Like, what is the food supply in here? So many branching paths. I have plenty of dragons. They do indeed. Yeah, it's just such a large area. Yeah, just walk right through it. Just walk right through it, Liliana. Yep. Trap detected. Walks right through. At least you can make an informed decision about where to walk. Triggering it's the fastest way to disarm it, right? Pretty much.
All right. Going.
There we go. What's up, Colgrim?
Stop! You will go no further!
I just laid waste to your entire platoon, dude. Do you really want to play this game? Like, the fact that I'm even here, brother, you're not starting off on a good foot. Is that so?
You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young. No more. You will tell me now, intruder, why you have done all this. Why have you come here?
I seek the Grail. Boy, oh boy. I don't know if I'm in a position to, like, make a power play here. Come to make sure you never hurt anyone again.
To arms, my brethren!
Okay.
And Justice will grant us victory!
Okay. That guy didn't want to talk. Alistair, drink up, buddy. Faith's Edge, cool. Colgrim's Horn. This horn, emblazoned with a modified Chantry symbol, belonged to Father Colgrim of Haven. When he wished to commune with the high dragon that he believed to be Andraste reborn, his horn would sound out from the mountaintop. Sound this horn from the top of the mountain overlooking the village of Haven to summon the high dragon. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Which is what I'm guessing what happens there. So let's go explore those other branches of the tunnel first. Before I go do that. That sounds cool. Really wish I could fast travel this little area here, but unfortunately cannot. Okay. 1v4 with the dragon. Finish the blight early, right? Why not? What the hell? Sir, were you hiding?
All right.
I don't recall you being here. Gonna walk through the tunnel and find the other branches. Gonna walk through the tunnel and make up a song of on the way through the tunnel. Find me some
We
dragon.
seem to be heading up. Yes, I think these caverns are going up to the surface.
Oh, thank you, Alistair, for your thoughtful contribution. What have we here? So much for your shield. Dragons. It's just too many baby dragons in one spot. And then we got a little Drake in here, huh? This one called me on itself. Codex updated. Drakes. Male dragons never develop into the winged monsters of myth. At most, their forelegs grow the vestigial spurs where wing membrane might have been. Once they have fully matured, males immediately seek out the lairs of adult females. When they find one, they move into her lair and spend the rest of their lives there, hunting for her and defending her young. They will aggressively defend her nest, and many would-be dragon hunters have been lost to their fiery breath and crushing blows from their tails. Jesus! Game, just let me attack. Who's the dragon daddy? A worthy question indeed. Drake scale. Ooh. Drake scale armor. Master Wade in Denham's Market District can make amazing Drake scale armor if you give him enough Drake scales. He seems positively eager to do so. Hey. I'm into that. Flask containing white-hot liquid. A weapon coated in liquid fire. Spell Weaver. Alright, so we got a couple Drake scales. That's cool. I mean, I'm not going to complain about being able to get some Drake armor. Hopefully this connects with the other area so that we don't have like another big ass open area to fight in. Alright, Sticks. Alright, another Drake. What's up? Cool. Fun. Alistair getting his ass handed to him right now. Hey! Hey! Okay. Pick a third Drake scale. Coming back to Denham will be nice. Maybe I'll get some new... Ooh, a dragon egg. Life drinker. Restriction blood mage. The life drinker. No one knows for certain where this amulet came from. All we have is legend. Long before the Golden City turned black, there lived in the Tevinter Imperium a frail old magician in the court of the Archon. He was the least among the mages of the court, the lamplighter, whose task it was to set all the thousands of candles alight and snuff them again when the Archon retired for the evening. He was counted as useless by all the most influential magisters, but he was only biding his time. One day, when all the magisters of the Imperium were assembled in the great hall of the Archon, the lamplighter struck. He conjured a massive firestorm in the hall, trying to assassinate all who were assembled and seize power himself. The court was made up of the most powerful mages of the Imperium, and they worked quickly to destroy the would-be usurper, but found to their astonishment their magic was no match for their old mage. Every spell they cast was countered, and the magisters began to fall one by one until only the Archon himself and the lamplighter were left, locked in a battle of magic and will. The Archon saw that with each spell he cast, the lamplighter himself seemed to wither and fade a little more. So he bombarded the mage with spell after spell until at last nothing was left of the palace but rubble, nothing left of the court but corpses, and nothing left of the lamplighter but a golden pendant. This, the Archon kept to remind himself that treachery could come from even the most innocuous sources. How big do you suppose the omelet would be if you made it of a dragon egg? I have no idea. As big as the egg, I guess. Ooh, a book! The First Blight, Chapter 3. The world during the First Blight was different from the world we know today. Aside from the civilized rule of the Imperium, humans as a race were largely barbarous and splintered, divided into clans and tribes, and squabbling amongst ourselves for resources. At the same time, deep beneath Thetis' great mountain ranges spanned a dwarven culture as organized and advanced as ours was primitive. As the Darkspawn bubbled up to the surface from the underground lairs, mankind first buckled and then fought back. The armies of Tevinter attempted to face down the multitudes of twisted creatures and the horrid rotting of the land around them, but they could not be everywhere at once. Human history remembers the First Blight as a time of terrible devastation, and those stories are accurate, but in our arrogance we often forget the price paid by the dwarves in their isolated mountain kingdoms. The dwarves faced far greater hordes than humanity as the Darkspawn challenged them for control of the underground. Despite the might and technology the dwarves brought to bear, the savage Darkspawn tore through them, first destroying the more remote taigs before swallowing up entire kingdoms. Think of it, an entire civilization lost in the space of decades. Compared to the near genocide that the dwarves faced, what we humans call the First Blight must have seemed a mere skirmish. Against the Darkspawn, the dwarven lands have always borne the brunt of the fighting and the majority of the sacrifices. 4 dwarven kingdoms finally managed to combine their might and fight back, and that cooperation saved them. But for the rest of their lands it was too late. The Darkspawn had taken the deep roads, the majestic underground passages that linked the dwarven lands throughout Thetis. The Darkspawn could now attack anywhere on the surface through these tunnels. Humanity simply was not prepared for such an onslaught. It was clear that the warfare we knew would not avail us. We had to find a new way to fight. Thus came our salvation. The Grey Wardens were born. From Tales of the Destruction of Thetis by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. This is way cooler than Skyrim dwarves just disappearing. I agree. I do agree. It actually really sucks when you think about it, that like the dwarves really do bear the brunt of it. Like, we bitch and moan when they come up above ground, and we have every right to bitch and moan when they come up above ground. But the dwarves are like, yo, we fight this shit all the time. And y'all don't even see it. Right, you have like the micro politics within the certain races of the world, and then you have the macro politics. And I mean, I think that's part of what makes this Dragon Age game so compelling, because there's just so many layers to the way that the world at large is structured, and like the history and the different perspective that people are going to have based on what happened to them. And really, a lot of like the reason the dwarves are overlooked in a lot of is because they just simply, you don't see them. They're underground. Piles of dragon filth. Oh, good. What's up, guys? 3 drakes. That's fun. Did I just hear a sheep? Oh, scale getting messed up. Drake scale. Thank you. Drake scale. Love it. I mean, this is worth it just for that. Stone warrior statuette. A small stone carving of a humanoid warrior. All that to dig an action figure out of some dragon shit. Oh well. That's okay. Well, when you put it that way, I mean, I'm not wrong. We did a lot of walking for that. Man, that Advil did nothing to my shoulder. Those guys were like the dragon babysitters. Yeah. A lot of baby dragons down here, which I'm gonna be interested to see what happens when we summon this dragon at the top of the mountain. I'm just kind of waiting for that dragon to be like, who the hell are you? All right. Get ready, chat. The mountaintop.
A high dragon is not a joke. We'd best be careful. Real careful.
Okie dokie. This area is huge. Wait a minute, what? Could I really have just gone right out there? What? Okay. Did all that, we could have just bypassed it. Although I guess we needed that dude's stick. Alright, good to know, I guess. Right, there's a temple over there. Oh! Oh boy. Think she's gonna be mad if I steal some shit? Heavy chainmail made of dragon bone. Wonder how that is compared to what I'm wearing. Not even close to as good. Easy does it. Shale? Alright, Shale. Listen up. I know. I get it. You're probably like 2,500 pounds. I know it's really hard to be light on your feet, and I know this is a big ask, okay? There's a big old dragon up there that needs to sleep. And so I'm gonna need you, as best you can, to be one with the earth. To be silent. No more plodding around. Think of it as walking on the balls of your feet instead of starting with your heel, okay? This is the most important traversal that you will ever make. Okay. All right. Woo. The gauntlet. Oh, that's not foreboding. Gotta love going into a place called the Gauntlet.
This place. It's different from the rest of the ruins.
It is indeed, Alistair. Who is this person? The Guardian. Don't mind me, Mr. Guardian. I'm just gonna loot this place real quick. More silver chalice. There's just so many silver chalice. What's the chalices? Is it chali? He who answers must answer me. Oh God.
I bid you welcome, pilgrim.
Who are you?
I am the Guardian, the protector of the urn of sacred ashes. I have waited years for this.
For me?
You are the first to arrive in a very long time. It has been my duty, my life, to protect the urn and prepare the way for the faithful who come to revere Andraste. For years beyond counting have I been here, and shall I remain until my task is done and the Imperium has crumbled into the sea.
Will your task ever be done?
I do not know, and I do not question.
Who are the men who have taken over the rest of the temple?
When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory and guard her. I have watched generations of my brethren take up the mantle of their fathers. For centuries they did this, unwavering, joyful in their appointed task. But now they have lost their way. They have forgotten Andraste and their promise.
What about you?
I am all that remains of the first disciples. I swore I would protect the urn as long as I lived. And I have lived a very long time.
The first disciples, did you know Andraste?
Did anyone really know her, save the Maker? She would sometimes spend weeks alone in meditation, often without food or water.
Wow. Tell me more about her.
I cannot express in words my love for Andraste. You must seek her out for yourself. Everyone must.
How is it possible that you've lived so long?
I made a vow to Andraste and to the Maker. My life is tied to the ashes. As long as they remain, so will I.
Oh. Well, what can you tell me about the urn?
You already know that the urn contains the remains of the prophet Andraste. What else is there to tell?
What do you know about these disciples?
When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter
My
to the
bad.
sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere
The
her.
dragon is not Andraste.
No. Our Andraste has gone to the Maker's side. She will not return. The dragon is a fearsome creature, and they must have seen her as an alternative to the absent Maker and his silent Andraste. A true believer would not require audacious displays of power.
How did the belief spread to the rest of the disciples?
It began with an ancestor of the one known as Colgrim. He saw himself as a new prophet, preaching the rebirth. Some disagreed with him. I heard their cries of pain and loss, which were quickly silenced.
Would you like me to get rid of them?
The Maker will sit in judgment of them when the time comes.
Okay. I would like to see the urn.
You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy.
I have to fight you?
It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not...
What's the gauntlet?
The gauntlet tells the true pilgrims from the false. You will undergo 4 tests of faith, and we shall see how your soul fares.
Whoa. Can you tell me anything else?
You will understand what it is when you face it.
Cool.
Return.
Oh, baby. That's gonna make for a hell of a part 26, huh? We'll go through that door and we'll run the gauntlet together. YouTube, thank you for taking the time to watch part 25. I hope you enjoyed our journey before the journey. This has been a lot of fun. I have enjoyed it immensely. We got to read some stuff. We got to do some analysis. We got to have a good old time. As always, make sure you leave a like on your way out. Follow all the links in the description. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined. And if you're binging, I will see you right over at part 26. If you're waiting for the next episode to come out, we'll get it out as soon as we can. I appreciate you all. Catch you on part 26, where we're going to run the gauntlet. See ya.